It doesn't start with chest pain. There's no dizziness, no numbness, no warning signs. In fact, it often strikes in the quietest part of your life, while you're fast asleep. You go to bed feeling fine, maybe after dinner with family or watching your favorite show. But sometime during the night, something invisible begins to happen in your brain. It doesn't start with chest pain. There's no dizziness, no numbness, no warning signs. In fact, it often strikes in the quietest part of your life, while you're fast asleep. You go to bed feeling fine, maybe after dinner with family or watching your favorite show. But sometime during the night, something invisible begins to happen in your brain. It doesn't start with chest pain. There's no dizziness, no numbness, no warning signs. In fact, it often strikes in the quietest part of your life, while you're fast asleep. You go to bed feeling fine, maybe after dinner with family or watching your favorite show. But sometime during the night, something invisible begins to happen in your brain. By morning, everything could be different. You might wake up unable to speak clearly, move one side of your body, or even recognize the people closest to you. For many adults over 60, this is how a stroke begins, with no alarm, no obvious symptoms, and no second chance. What's truly shocking is that one common vitamin, something millions take every day without a second thought, may be quietly increasing this risk. I'm a neurologist, and I've seen this pattern repeat far too often. People who seemed perfectly healthy one day, only to wake up to a terrifying new reality the next. But knowledge is power. In the next few minutes, I'll show you what this vitamin is, how it affects your brain, and what simple food-based steps you can take tonight to help protect your brain and possibly save your life. As a neurologist with over 20 years of experience, I've dedicated my career to helping seniors like you live vibrant, independent lives. But every week I see patients in my clinic who are blindsided by strokes they never saw coming. Strokes don't always announce themselves with obvious symptoms. They can strike silently, especially at night. And one surprising culprit keeps showing up in my research and patient tests: vitamin B12 deficiency. This isn't just about feeling tired or forgetful. A lack of this critical nutrient can wreak havoc on your brain, especially if you're over 60. Let me share two real stories from my patients to show you just how serious this is. First, meet Margaret, a 68-year-old grandmother who radiated joy. She spent her days tending her rose garden and hosting bridge nights with her friends. Margaret was active, sharp, and independent. She was the one her family leaned on. But one morning, her daughter found her struggling to get out of bed, her speech slurred, and her right arm limp. They rushed her to the ER where I met her. A brain scan confirmed she'd had a stroke. When we ran her blood work, I was stunned. Her vitamin B12 levels were dangerously low, almost undetectable. Margaret thought she was eating healthy, lots of salads and whole grains, but her body wasn't absorbing B12 properly, a problem that becomes more common as we age. That deficiency had quietly caused inflammation in her blood vessels and thickened her blood, setting the stage for a clot that triggered her stroke. Margaret's now relearning how to hold a gardening trowel, but she told me, if I'd known about B12, I would have done things differently. Then there's Robert, a 72-year-old retired high school teacher who loved nothing more than reading history books and taking long walks with his dog. He came to my clinic after months of feeling off, exhausted, forgetting names, and noticing a strange tingling in his hands and feet. He laughed it off, saying, "I'm just getting old, Doc." But his blood tests told a different story. His B12 levels were so low they were starving his brain of oxygen, putting him at serious risk for a stroke every single night. Robert was shocked. He'd been eating what he thought was a balanced diet, but he didn't know that his body's ability to absorb B12 had weakened with age. We caught it just in time, but Robert still says he feels like he dodged a bullet. So why is vitamin B12 so critical for your brain? Let's break it down in a way that's easy to understand. Think of your brain as a bustling city, with blood vessels as the highways that deliver oxygen and nutrients to keep it running smoothly. Vitamin B12 is like the maintenance crew that keeps those highways clear and in good repair. Without enough B12, those highways start to crumble. Your blood vessels become inflamed, and your blood can get sticky, forming dangerous clots. If one of those clots blocks a vessel in your brain, that's a stroke, and it can happen silently while you're sleeping, with no warning. Here's the science in simple terms. B12 is essential for making healthy red blood cells, which carry oxygen to your brain. It also protects your nervous system, keeping your brain's communication lines strong. But as we age, our bodies produce less stomach acid and intrinsic factor, a protein needed to absorb B12 from food. By age 60, studies show that up to 20% of people have a B12 deficiency, and most don't even know it. Low B12 also causes a harmful amino acid called homocysteine to build up in your blood. High homocysteine levels damage your blood vessels, making them stiff and narrow, perfect conditions for a clot to form. Research from the Journal of Neurology and Stroke confirms that B12 deficiency can increase your stroke risk by up to 40% in seniors, and other studies link high homocysteine to a doubled risk of stroke and heart attack. But it's not just about strokes. Low B12 can cause memory problems, confusion, and even mimic early dementia. I've seen patients who thought they were losing their minds, only to find out it was a treatable B12 deficiency. The good news? You can turn this around with the right steps. Now here's the part that should give you hope. You don't have to live in fear of a stroke stealing your independence. You have the power to protect your brain, starting with what you put on your plate. By boosting your B12 levels, you can lower your stroke risk, sharpen your memory, and feel more energized. Let me share 4 practical food-based solutions you can start today to safeguard your brain. Number 1, load up on B12-rich foods every day. The best natural sources are animal-based because they're packed with bioavailable B12. Meaning your body can use it easily. Salmon, eggs, chicken, and beef liver are superstars. For example, a 3-ounce piece of salmon gives you over 100% of your daily B12 needs, and 2 eggs provide about 25%. Try adding a poached egg to your breakfast or grilling salmon for dinner. If you're vegetarian, you'll need to rely on fortified foods like cereals, plant-based milks, or nutritional yeast. But you'll want to eat these daily and check with your doctor to ensure you're getting enough. Number 2, pair B12 with folate-rich foods. Folate, also called vitamin B9, works hand in hand with B12 to keep homocysteine levels in check. You'll find folate in leafy greens like spinach, kale, and romaine lettuce, as well as beans and lentils. A simple meal idea? A spinach salad topped with grilled chicken or a bowl of lentil soup with a side of steamed broccoli. This combo supports your blood vessels and keeps your brain well fed. Number 3, snack smart for B12 boosts. Small B12-rich snacks can make a big difference. Try Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of fortified cereal or a hard-boiled egg with a handful of almonds. These are easy to prep and keep your levels steady throughout the day. If you love dairy, a glass of fortified milk, cows or plant-based, can also help. Number 4, know when to consider supplements. If you're over 60, your body might struggle to absorb B12 from food alone, especially if you have digestive issues or take medications like metformin or acid reducers. Fortified almond milk or orange juice can help, but a B12 supplement, around 500–1,000 micrograms daily, can be a game changer. Always talk to your doctor first to get your levels tested and find the right dose. A simple blood test can tell you if you're deficient and guide your next steps. I know hearing about stroke risk can feel overwhelming, especially as you age. You might be thinking about all the years you've spent building a life full of memories, family vacations, watching your grandkids grow, or simply enjoying a quiet evening with a good book. A stroke could steal those moments, but it doesn't have to. Margaret and Robert are proof that taking action can make all the difference. Margaret's back to tending her roses slowly but surely, and Robert's enjoying his walks again. feeling sharper than he has in years. You can protect your brain and keep living the life you love. Here's what I want you to do. Start with one small change today. Maybe it's adding salmon to your dinner menu or tossing some spinach into your smoothie. Get your B12 levels checked at your next doctor's visit. It's a simple test that could save your life. And don't wait for symptoms to appear. Strokes don't always give you a warning, but you can outsmart them by acting now. If this video has opened your eyes to the power of B12, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about, maybe a friend or family member who's also over 60. Subscribe for more brain health tips to keep you sharp and independent. And let's make this personal. In the comments below, tell me one B12-rich food you're going to add to your diet this week, or share a story about why brain health matters to you. Let's start this journey together, because your brain and the people who love you deserve it.